You know, vulnerability is absolute power.
La vulnerabilidad es poder absoluto.
Because it's saying,
Porque está diciendo,
I'm okay.
yo estoy bien.
I don't have to pretend to be someone
No tengo
else.
que fingir ser alguien más.
I'm okay exactly as I
Yo
am.
estoy bien exactamente como soy.
In this moment, I'm like
En
this.
este momento soy así.
This is my truth.
Esta es mi verdad.
And this is how I feel.
Y así me siento.
And I don't need to pretend to be anything
Y
else.
no necesito fingir o pretender ser nada más.
Because you know what?
Porque sabes,
There's no power
no hay poder
when you're not being vulnerable.
cuando no estás siendo vulnerable.
Because everyone's acting.
Porque todos están actuando.
And everyone knows everyone's
Y todo el
acting.
mundo sabe que todo el mundo actúa.
But when you start to be
Pero
real,
cuando empiezas a ser real,
when you start to love yourself
cuando empiezas a
unconditionally,
amarte incondicionalmente,
when you start to speak your truth
cuando empiezas a hablar tu verdad
and take off your
y
masks
quitarte tus máscaras
and love yourself
y
exactly as you are,
amarte exactamente como eres,
that's when you become the person you want to
es
be.
ahí cuando te transformas en la persona que quieres ser.
You know, I have a saying,
Yo tengo un dicho,
in order to be
para
divine,
poder ser divino,
I have to be
tengo que
100%
ser
human.
100% humano
And I have to embrace
y
it.
tengo que abrazar
And
eso.
then I'll find my
Y
divinity.
después ahí voy a encontrar mi divinidad.
And many people, spiritual
Y
people,
muchas personas espirituales
get caught.
se quedan enganchadas,
They get caught in the
se
middle
quedan enganchadas justo en el medio
with their spiritual ego.
con sus egos espirituales.
They've got a list of
Tienen una
behaviors,
lista de comportamientos,
how I should be, what I should say, what direction my house should face. I should be like this and I should be like that. And it's not true.
No es verdad eso.
You just need to be you,
Solo necesitas
authentically.
ser auténtico.
So finding vulnerability
El encontrar
is the
la
first step to
vulnerabilidad
freedom.
es el primer paso a la libertad.
And it's also the language of the heart.
También eso es el idioma del corazón.
And the heart
El corazón
is where all the power comes from.
es de donde todo el poder viene.
That's the unity.
Esa es la
That's the
unidad, esa
connection.
es la conexión.
That's what sustains
Todo lo
creation.
que sostiene la creación,
That energy of unconditional
esa
love.
energía de amor incondicional.
And that's power.
Eso es poder,
It's the greatest
es
power.
el poder más grandioso.
So great.
Así que buenísimo.
I want to know. I live with my mom, elder mom. It's not an option for her to go to a home because I don't think that that's right. And I want to know in that situation, what is the difference between acceptance and surrender?
You know, this is the greatest thing,
Es lo más grandioso de
to live with your mother.
vivir con tu propia madre.
It's fabulous.
Fabuloso.
No, don't do this.
No, no haces eso, no haces.
Because at your age,
Porque a tu edad,
doing the system,
practicando el sistema,
you can heal everything.
puedes sanar absolutamente todo.
And you know what you have to
¿Y
learn?
sabes lo que tienes que aprender?
To surrender.
A rendirte.
Surrender to your mother.
Entregarte a tu mamá.
You know, there's always this dynamic between mother and daughter
Siempre están estas dinámicas entre madre e hija.
because we mirror each other
Que nos espejamos la una a la otra
and we fight
y peleamos.
and we need to be right.
Y necesitamos tener razón.
And you see how you did this?
Y ¿viste cómo hiciste eso?
Let that go.
Suelta eso.
Go home fresh
Vuelve a casa a nuevo.
and go and see her
Y
fresh
ve a verla a ella a nuevo.
and give to her
Dale a
unconditionally,
ella incondicionalmente.
but from a place of joy,
Pero haciéndolo desde un lugar de dicha.
not expecting her to
No
change,
esperando que ella cambie.
but you focus
Pero tu foco
on you changing.
en tu cambio.
You know, when my mother died,
Cuando mamá murió,
or when my mother was getting close to dying,
cerca de morir,
I spent time with her.
yo pasé tiempo con ella.
And I was very clear
Y estaba muy clara
that I would surrender
de que me iba a rendir, a
to
entregar
everything.
a absolutamente todo.
And everything changed completely. It was like magic.
Fue como mágico.
And my mother was a little bit complicated,
Mi
no?
mamá era un poquito complicada.
A little bit complicated. And I let go
Y yo solté
and everything changed.
todo cambió.
Because you cannot change your mother,
Porque tú no puedes cambiar a tu mamá.
but you can change yourself. And if you say to me,
Tú me dices,
it's not an option that she goes to an old people's home,
vaya a un hogar.
okay, so the only option is
La única opción es
she's happy. It's not about keeping her and fighting
no
with
se
her.
trata de tenerla en casa y pelear con ella.
It's about her being
Se trata
happy.
de que ella esté feliz.
And that's your job.
Y esa es tu tarea.
Yeah, and that's what you want.
Y eso es lo que quieres.
You just want that love to
Solo
flow.
quieres que ese amor fluya.
And the facets will help so
Las
much.
facetas te van a ayudar tanto con eso.
And every time she triggers a drama
Cada vez que ella te dispara un drama
or some circle,
o algún surco tuyo,
you leave,
vas,
you get a pillow,
agarras una almohadón, gritas ahí.
and then you go back.
Después vuelves.
See, mummy. Tienes razón.
Mami, tienes razón.
Te quiero, mummy. I love you, mummy. And within a month,
Y vas a ver cómo en un mes
you can heal the whole
puedes
relationship
sanar tu relación completa con
if
él.
you surrender.
Si te entregas a eso.
And don't do this anymore.
Pero no hagas eso más, ¿eh?
That's the cause of most divorces, you know.
Porque eso es lo que causa la mayoría de los divorcios.
It's true. Once you're at that point,
Una vez que estás en ese punto,
forget it.
Quisiera que nos hables un poco más sobre la educación.
Can you talk about meditative education?
Porque tengo una pequeña maestra en mi
Because I have a little teacher at home,
entonces quisiera
so I want to be able to help her or support her.
que esa dicha.
How old is she?
That joy
¿qué edad tiene? 4.
for.
First thing you need is this book.
Lo primero que necesitas es
I have it, I have it.
This book is fundamental.
este libro es fundamental.
And what's more
Lo que es
fundamental
más fundamental
is what you're being,
es aquello que tú estás haciendo, lo que
what you're
lo que
demonstrating,
estés demostrando.
that you're focused on consciousness, that you're vulnerable, that you feel your feelings. Everything you learned here
Aquello que aprendiste
is natural for her.
es natural para ella.
And you have to allow her to sustain that
Tienes que permitirle que ella sostenga eso.
through seeing you like that.
Realmente verte a ti así.
And when you're unifying,
Cuando estés unificado,
you can give her the third facet,
puedes darle a ella la tercera faceta.
teach her how to move her stress.
Enseñarle a mover su estrés.
You know, these are just simple steps
Pasos simples
that open doors
que abren puertas
that are not normally
que
open,
normalmente no están abiertas.
because that's not what they learn
Porque
externally.
eso no es lo que aprenden de afuera.
You know, and it's so important. And it's really great to bring the kids to the centres too,
También es maravilloso traer a los niños aquí
so they can learn.
para que puedan aprender.
You know, and this is, but the most important thing
Pero la cosa más importante
is what you're
es
being,
que tú estés siendo,
what you're being.
que tú estés
And trust in yourself.
confiar en ti.
You know, parents don't trust in themselves.
No confían en sí.
They always think they're doing something wrong.
Piensan que están haciendo algo mal.
And you have to remember,
Tienes que recordar
kids are having a human
que
experience.
están teniendo una experiencia humana.
And there are limits.
Hay límites.
You know, you have to be clear
Tienes que estar claro.
and trust in you.
Confiar en ti.
Like you're talking to me
Me estás hablando
and you're already looking worried.
y ya te ves preocupada.
You know, it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be a good mother.
Voy a ser buena madre.
Of course you're a good mother.
Por supuesto que eres.
Because bad mothers don't ask that
Porque las
question.
madres malas no hacen esa pregunta siquiera.
They don't care.
No les importa.
But don't go in the other
Pero
direction,
no vayas en la dirección opuesta.
doubting yourself.
Dudando de ti.
So you have to find your clarity,
Tienes que encontrar tu claridad,
your internal guide,
tu guía interna,
your
tu
vulnerability,
vulnerabilidad,
and teach her
y
that.
enseñarle a ella eso.
Or him, or was it a boy or a girl? I don't
Nena
know.
o nene, no sé.
Esta mañana fue muy importante para mí.
This morning was very important for me
Una expresión.
in one expression.
Para detectar un enorme fantasma que me acompañó
And to find a big ghost that came with me all my life,
donde tenía
I saw from where I was coming.
años.
4 years old.
Increíble.
Was incredible. I want to ask you.
Era tan grande para mí ese fantasma.
It was so big for me, that
What
ghost.
was it?
O sea, ahora es depresión.
Depression,
Años.
years of depression. But since I was little, it was a huge fear, bigger than the tent to death, fear to death. And I never was able to see that. And today I got to the point. I saw me at 4, I saw the situation very clear.
Esa situación
But that situation, it was today.
es muy raro.
It's very weird. It was today.
Esto
But this,
es
this,
una ilusión mía
What is that an illusion of mine, or the time is an illusion?
You have to answer that
Tú
question.
tienes que encontrar esa respuesta.
What is it?
Responder qué es.
What's the illusion?
¿Cuál es la ilusión?
Time.
Tiempo. Es el tiempo.
That's the illusion.
Gracias.
Muy bien. Great.
Qué bueno.
Now these realizations come, yeah?
Estas realizaciones son cosas que vienen.
They're not intellectual.
No son intelectuales.
They're just knowings.
Son
It's like,
saberes que suceden.
and they impact you like that.
Te impactan así.
That's
Esa
consciousness.
es conciencia.
Phoom.
Así viene.
Oh, now I understand.
Ahora entiendo.
Great. It's perfect. What was it that the king said? Never fear death,
Nunca temas la muerte.
and you will never fear life.
Temerás a la vida.
And it's the sea.
Y es así.
Why some daughters, we see our fathers as victim and we try to take care of them and protect them. We see them weak. And we don't see like that our moms.
You know, the thing is, it depends on your family. There's always one that we see as a victim. Always. Because that's where we learn the victim. There's always the good and the bad. Because your father's not a victim. And he doesn't need to be saved. He's a powerful man. But you see, you always have that. And it's not real. But we create that within our families. The good parent, the bad parent, the easy parent, the complicated parent. It's just normal. It's part of the illusion. And we do it with our siblings. And we project it onto them. And then we project it onto our partners. That's why I say it's so fundamental to heal the relationship with our parents. Because that's where it all comes from. Always comes from there. No victim. No victim. There's just the play the victim. But it's not real. Because every human has a choice. And that addiction to being the victim, that's what we have to let go of. Because no one makes you do anything. It's in your hands.
I was afraid to ask you this, but I'm going to do it. About what you said with the relationship with parents. 15 years ago, I'm a lesbian since 15 years ago. And I get nervous saying it, because even if it's a long time, I still feel I don't accept it. It's a condition, it's hard for me to accept. And as a consequence, I always had problems with my mom because she doesn't like my condition.
My condition. It's not a sickness. Ay, Dios.
I don't know how to name it.
My preference.
Okay, my preference. I could like to accept myself completely, but I don't know how. So my mom, I understand it's not her, it's me.
You know, the thing is, you've got to go beyond your minority. Like you're identifying with this. This is something that's wrong with me. And you're much more than everything. It's unimportant. It's of no consequence. Because there's something much bigger. And that's who you really are.
Eso es quién eres realmente.
And we're all perfect.
Somos todos perfectos.
Our choices are perfect.
Nuestras elecciones son perfectas.
Be they different,
Sea que sean
be they the same.
sea que sea igual a todos.
This is what creates this illusion.
Lo que crea es
All the exceptions.
todas las excepciones.
And you have to heal that.
Tienes que sanar eso tú.
And most gay people feel
Y la
that.
mayor parte de las personas gays sienten eso.
Deep inside,
En lo profundo,
there's something
como
wrong.
que hubiera algo que está mal.
But it's just an
Pero
idea.
eso es solo una idea.
It's just an idea.
Solo una idea.
And you have to let it go.
Tienes que dejar
And you have to love yourself unconditionally,
incondicionalmente.
exactly as you are,
Exactamente como eres.
because you're perfect.
Porque tú eres perfecta.
Who you choose to be with is your
Lo
choice.
que elijas ser es tu propia elección.
But don't be so rigid,
Pero no seas tan rígida.
you know. Don't define yourself.
No te definas.
Just be you.
Simplemente sé tú.
That's easy, no?
Eso es fácil.
You know, people that are straight don't walk around going, I'm heterosexual.
Personas que son
Hello,
sexuales,
I'm heterosexual.
Hola, yo
Nice
soy
to meet you.
sexual, un placer conocerte.
Stop
Así
identifying.
que deja de identificarte con eso.
You know, I'm black.
O soy negra, soy de rosa.
Oh, well, sorry. I'm Jewish.
Soy judía, soy judía.
I'm indigenous.
Soy indígena,
I'm transgender.
soy transgénero.
Oh, I nearly named all your children, no?
Casi nombré a todos tus hijos.
Yeah. She has very eclectic
Ella
children.
tiene hijos muy eclécticos, la cuestión.
But they're all perfect, aren't they?
Somos perfectos, ¿o no?
Yeah? Perfect.
Perfectos.
See? And you've got to see that.
Tienes que ver tú eso.
Because the minute you love
Porque
yourself
en el momento que te
unconditionally,
estés amando incondicionalmente,
the external judgment
el
leaves.
juicio externo se va.
Yes? Got it?
¿Se entiende?